Hello and welcome to Honest Trailer Commentaries. What if Honest Trailers were longer and had us in them? You're about to find out. Joe Starr, me, Spencer, Lon, Danielle.
Hello.
Dan Merle has been called back to his hometown, much like the events of It 2, but he'll be back next week.
Is he from Derry, Maine?
He is.
Wow.
Today we're talking about It 2. We've already done It 1. We've already done It, the miniseries.
What a journey.
What a journey. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of tired of talking about and watching It.
I think we're at It. Are we at It?
We're done with It.
I'm at It to give.
Yeah.
This is they couldn't have picked a worse movie to be tired of the movie to be inside of.
That was English. We had a
real piece of It.
This is a real long film. I'll say this. I did not enjoy watching it, probably in less than ideal circumstances, on my laptop, picking it apart, just being a real bitter curmudgeon about it. But it would probably have been fun to see this on a big screen, because this seems like there were a lot of moments that were just begging to be yelled at from a theater chair. Like, don't go in there.
I don't know.
And look out, and ooh, that's scary.
I could just
Spencer
do
Gilbert.
that for you.
That would be the ideal.
Yeah.
You get the Danielle
I'm
commentary
already doing it. We're just doing it at a different time.
My first sentence of this video aside, I trust my judgment, and my judgment watching this on my laptop was that I would have been angrier if I had paid $20 to go see it.
Okay. It just seemed like to me there was like a carnival ride, hence the clowns and the literal fun house. Like, it was just, things popped out at you, like going to Halloween Horror Nights on the Pennywise theme night.
Yeah, it just felt so much like revisiting the first movie. It didn't feel like they came up with new elements to add to it. It was just like, what if they went through the same process again, but, grown up this
Bigger
time?
and bigger CGI.
But then also not grown up, because here kids more.
Right, yeah, like it felt really repetitive to the first movie.
A stroke.
I might be. I'm just being off from my Pennywise reveal.
My father used to do honest trailers.
Pray for Joe.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's a long movie and a long trailer, so let's just start watching it.
Jump in.
Second Stephen King-a-thons, the sequel to the highest-grossing horror film, is here. And the scariest part is the runtime. $250? It's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
Pause. There were two moments when I looked down, I stopped the movie and then checked how much time there was left. One was an hour into it, and I was like, surely there can't be an hour.
And then it was.
Oh, yeah.
And then I stopped and checked. Only 10 minutes had passed. I thought so much longer had gone by, and I was like, okay, now I gotta be almost to the end.
Another flashback scene.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a great example of what we're talking about. It's like, we're a long movie and then a second long movie, we're part of the way into it, and it's still that same beat of it makes scary things happen, and they freak out, and the scary things go away, and it was like, it wasn't real. And how many times can you play that out? I get that it would still be scary for the people experiencing it, if you saw this terrifying thing in front of you, but for us, we're like, there's not really a decapitated head in the fish tank. It's just he's messing with you.
Well, it's also Pennywise are coming. If I see one of them walking by themselves, I'm like, when's that Pennywise coming?
Right.
Yeah.
and right, exactly. We've seen enough of these beats now to where we can anticipate the beat coming, and it's not scary.
The best sequences were when it was a child or someone who wasn't in the Losers Club interacting with Pennywise, because there was actually some risk involved and some stakes. Because I guess I missed it, and I guess we talk about this later, is he can kill people who aren't the main characters.
Right.
But
that's the scariest moment in both movies, and this is not great because the beginning is when he rips Georgie's arm off, because you don't see that coming. You're like, oh my God, that's so terrifying and violent and horrible. But most of the time he's like a prankster.
He wants them to be scareder
because it makes it taste better. But
but also, how long are you gonna wait, man? Eat your dinner.
The difference between a steak that's been marinated for 12 hours and 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not some brown sugar.
That meat's getting tough. It's been a few years by now.
Eat Bill Hader. Just eat Bill Hader.
the cat's still playing with the dead bird from like 3 days ago. It's like, it's gross now. It's just gross. Just get rid of it.
You're just gumming it. Okay, let's keep going. It's just mush.
It, Chapter 2. The Losers Club is all grown up. Half of them are big celebrities, but all of them are still losers. Bill's an author who writes crappy endings, in a nod to both Stephen King and the movie we're watching.
Want me to sign it for you?
We're about 100 clips of this. Shorten it down to just this one.
Get it? Ben is hung up on his middle school crush. Middle school. Dude, Richie somehow makes Bill Hader unfunny. Beverly married her dad, and Eddie literally married his mother. Damn, I thought this took place in Maine, not the front page of Alabama Pornhub.
Zing.
With super friends to help him capture 3 big space balls, who takes the form of Pennywise, a shape-shifting clown who could kill
So
them.
pause for a second. Like, was Pennywise at any point? He was a real clown who lived in Derry.
No, man. He was
I mean, the only evidence we have that he was a real clown or like moved to Derry is that old lady, but she's a manifestation of him. So
That
he
old
could
lady.
just be making that up, I guess.
Not in the first one. There wasn't anything about like an old carnival burn.
Well, no,
There was.
There was. Yeah, he like took on that form at some
Right.
point. But yeah, in the second one, it's like, here's this pointless flashback to when dude went and smoked peyote with the Native American people.
Yeah.
And and
So because he can take on
it
the
was just a
form
monstery thing.
of anything. He just
Yeah,
he's
it's like-
the clown.
He likes clowns.
The clown was the first thing he saw.
yeah.
Well, no, because I mean, he predates clowns. Remember, like they go there and he's been there for billions of years. So,
I wanted
like,
them to do a twist where a guy's like, if only there was a term for me, a man who wants to be funny and wear face paint, and then he sees Pennywise and he's like, I'll be a clown.
I feel so seen.
I feel so seen.
When the first clown.
Yes, another
Hey
joke.
Barry, it's me, your cousin Mark.
You know that vague
Cousin
term?
Marvin Wise. You know that new style of comedic entertainment you've been looking for?
Get a load of this. He's just carving a zoetrope and then he spins it. Look into here.
Yeah, it definitely seems like alien from space, and then assume the role of Pennywise and just really digs being a clown more
must be
than
into
like
clowns.
somebody's brother or like some old lady or
Yeah,
whatever.
because all of them have different fears that they weren't all traumatized by a clown.
Yeah.
No, he just like
One of
that's
them,
just like his
one of them's really
default.
scared of lepers.
Yeah.
You know, that common childhood fear of lepers.
I want to talk about this ending thing too, because the ending's gonna be bad. Because Stephen King just does this in his books too, and it's obnoxious. Like he did it with Dark Tower. There's literally a chapter in Dark Tower where he's like, before you read the final chapter of Dark Tower, read this rant about endings and the nature of writing, so I can kill time before you're extraordinarily disappointed in me, and just go back to Christopher Pike books. Ugh.
It's a very personal joke.
It just bugs me. You're doing an adaptation. Like, no one... I don't think anyone alive... You know what? I'll say this. No one living likes the second half of It. They've already done it. They've already done it badly once. There's a blueprint as to why it doesn't work. You're doing an adaptation. If there's like a ton of... Instead of just sitting and going, oh, how do we make Chud work? Just adapt a new second chapter of It. Just do it differently. No one cares.
Well, like that's what they're doing for The Stand. They've got this CBS All Access Stand series.
Yeah.
And they actually went and like the showrunner and Stephen King just like came up with a brand new ending.
Good. Thank God. Because
together.
The Stand runs into a damn cliff too.
No,
like it's
like
bad.
they knew that, right? And so, yeah, this would be like if they still did the ending of The Stand, but then they added one scene to be like, yeah, we know it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, because The Stand is like 300 pages of a guy just deciding that like butt stuff doesn't count. Like that's most of The Stand. That is most of The Stand.
It counts.
What page?
It's 240 to 476. Is just a guy like, wait, if I just do butt stuff, just fix. Like, you had this chance to follow up it's the most successful horror movie of all time. Yeah.
R-rated.
It made R-rated horror movie of all time. It made so much money. You could have knocked this out of the park again so easy. Like,
might just be overall.
Unless there's a weird contract where Stephen King's like,
You can't change it unless I say it's okay. Or something,
yeah,
maybe.
and they just got him to just give on the child orgy from chapter 1.
This was his makeup for that.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff.
That's how deals.
He's like, you can take up the child orgy. You don't touch chapter 2.
Okay, you just don't know how Hollywood deal making works.
Yeah.
And that's great because he got to swap in. If I can't change your crappy ending, I'm just going to make you talk about how you can't write.
Yeah, I'm going to hang 700 lampshades on it. Against the tangled.
This whole movie is lampshades.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like, it's not even just the ending that's the problem here. It seems like they kind of just didn't know what to do with this whole chapter, and like what's the sort of guiding structure and idea behind it. It's trying to do sort of a little bit of everything.
I get it. Adapting a 70s author's drug-tripped, like drug-addled, weird journey into turtle gods fighting clown demons. That's a hard thing to be asked to adapt, but
And I think the same reason it didn't work in the 90s as well is because like there's something very visceral and primal about child versus clown.
Yes.
Because that's a rivalry as old as time.
Yeah. Man versus nature. Man versus himself.
Yeah, there's only 4
child versus
stories,
clown.
and one of them is child versus clown.
Boy meets girl. Man fights man versus nature, child versus clown.
Yeah.
So the grown
X
up
versus severed.
Orc is a cop.
We should write a book on writing by us. Okay, let's just keep going.
But doesn't and settles for either spooky balloons.
A lot of balloon work.
Oh, too much.
Make notes,
A lot of notes.
Because it turns out Pennywise kinda sucks at monster stuff. What kind of ancient horror gets negged to death?
Nice makeup. Is it real?
Film, a slick adaptation of the novel that cut the fluff and focused on
The aforementioned child orgy.
danger. Now, get ready for a faithful adaptation of Part 2 of the TV miniseries.
Yeah, pretty
pumped
much.
Up with action that feels like it's missing video game QuickTime events.
Whoa, press X.
Shenanigans. It won't just break the tension. It'll deflate it like a sad clown's penis.
Now, pause. Joe sent the note that that doesn't make any sense, to which I ignored.
I was watching this cut at home, and everyone in the apartment went, "What?" I was like, "Okay,
It
fair."
deflates the tension. It's just, it's free association. I just imagine it would be like
You have to, it only works though
slide whistle down.
as an analogy. If the clown was excited and now he's becoming flaccid. That's why it's
Sad.
deflating.
Hence the sad.
Right,
We
yes.
should have put in a slide whistle to help salvage it.
He was
That's really
previously kind of fired up, but now he's sad.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I'm also just glad I'm in a position in my life where I can send an email like, "Hey, Spencer, look, all respect in the world, brother. I think the sad clown penis part isn't working."
Some combinations of words are inherently funny, even if they don't make sense. Sad clown
I agree.
penis is one of those.
I agree.
combos.
It's true.
I will. This battle is yours.
When
my
you
friend.
picture a sad clown penis,
One man's opinion, but
One said clown's penis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
just throwing this out there. When you picture a sad clown penis in your mind, does it have white makeup
Of
on
course it does.
Yeah, duh.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, yes, for me. I just
Let
wanted
me
to
ask you
make sure.
this.
It's made of it looks like a balloon animal.
That's what he's stretching.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you, a little girl, a doggy?
I was gonna say if it's clown white, where is the clown nose or?
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, a whole
Depends,
separate.
it depends what style
Wow.
of clowning you're doing.
If it's Commedia dell'arte,
It wears a harlequino mask and bows.
But doctor, I am a deflated clown penis.
The day the clown went
Deflated.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
No, it's not gonna pop at the moment.
Yeah, that was really from the film.
That's it.
It's a dog, but it's scary. Love the mask.
Love it. Pause. Here's my other problem, and I had this problem with the first one too. All the monster designs look like something from the live-action Scooby-Doo movie. Like they all look, or like from Goosebumps or something. Like they all look ridiculous.
Right, and in the first movie, though, like I agree with you, but I think it's more forgivable because again, it's like. What's scary to a child? Like, it is sort of, everything's kind of refracted through this lens of like, these are 8, 12-year-old kids who are engaging with this monster. So, of course, it is sort of large in life, almost cartoonish monster. But when they're adults, it should be more like what an adult would find.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
should
bill.
be. Yeah.
Oh no!
That's what I mean. It's just like only boomer thing.
But I think the first
It's like,
one,
Liz Warren's president!
in the first movie, it started with Skarsgård, and then it would morph into something horrific.
Yes.
This one, it just kind of started with like an insanely contorted CGI horror monster. Like there wasn't anything real grounding it, except like the Pomeranian and stuff.
Yeah.
At first,
Yeah.
it would just go straight to God of War mini boss.
Yeah, it was so, and it was so obsessed with Bill Hader and what's the other one's
Eddie.
name? Eddie. Thank you. I don't know. I don't care.
James Ransom, I think, is the actor.
Hey, Casper.
But like the movie was so weirdly obsessed with like their hijinks, and like I get it. It's trying to set up like, oh, Bill Hader's like back with like the love of his life or whatever, but at the expense of the movie.
It feels like they're going way down that road and they're almost there and then they don't finish
It turns it into Harold and Kumar go to the sewer.
Right.
Like it's so focused on them just being like, oh, look at the dog, riffing.
I think that they were like implying that the love of his life was like Arcade Kid.
No, that was like his awakening. Like he realized maybe
Yeah.
There was never
I
like
can play video games with someone I love forever.
Yeah.
There was never a romantic beat though between him.
There isn't. You are right, but it feels like they're doing a lot to build up to that beat, and then it never arrives. But then they even play it off at the end, like when Eddie dies, everybody else is like, "Nah, too bad, Eddie." But he knew what he was getting into. But Bill Hader is like, "Ah, Eddie's dead." Like they definitely felt like they were gonna go there, and then they just never went there.
But just at the expense of the whole movie.
There's
like,
a lot of
anytime you're like,
Bill
time
Hader.
on it.
And at the expense of Bill Hader.
Anytime you're like, okay, this could get scary. One of them is just like, did you touch my drum set? No. And like,
Nice. All right, keep going.
Into a movie that keeps expanding like it's trying to fill a 13-episode Netflix order.
This is f***ing stupid. We already remember it.
Full of side quests that
My
don't
thoughts
end up
exactly.
mattering. A Native American ritual that doesn't even
thought
summon
that was
cut it. No, cut it, Spencer. You're getting soft.
I like drug trips in any movie.
Hey, you guys remember that one summer when we all got digitally de-aged? That was the best.
Oh, it looks so bad.
Whatever.
So bad.
Wait a
Pause.
second.
That I really don't get because they knew they weren't 100% sure they were going to do part 2 and they did part 1. Like if it was a flop, they wouldn't have. But they had this plan. The plan was always.
I disagree with that. They hadn't written the
They hadn't.
movie.
No, they hadn't. But like you would.
If only they knew how it was gonna go.
Yeah, you would think you've got this book to work from. You know where the story's going. Like, if you think you might want to do some scenes with them as kids in the next movie, just shoot them.
Tack it on.
Or they could
I don't
just-
think that's how like guild rules work. You can't just be like, we're secretly gonna make a sequel without.
No, I'm not
know,
saying
like-
a secret sequel. I'm just
No.
like
Matrix Revolutions that be.
Yeah, like well, you know, it's kind of a franchise potential thing if you really need this scene with them in this bunker.
And what's great about that is they didn't really need that scene.
No.
They didn't really need
No.
any of the flashback
That's the
scenes.
thing. Yeah, they didn't need any of them.
No.
They don't add anything except runtime.
Yeah, I mean, like
they don't.
literally shower cap is like the one plot element that they need that scene for. It's like, well, these are Stanley's shower caps that we burn at this ritual that doesn't do anything.
That you've told me I suddenly now have to care about.
Yeah, it felt almost like video game logic. And I know it's from the book. I get that it's not. That's not
Just
a thing
sending
they
everybody
made
off
up.
to do side quests.
Yeah, like,
And I don't mind
well,
side quests.
Here's this part of the mission where you all have to go back to these other locations.
I
and it's
almost
like a
have
fetch quest.
all 45 bottles of wine hidden throughout Thetis and Dragon Age Origins right now. I'm very excited. I'm so close. But like, I also don't want to watch a movie about me doing
Right.
that.
It's like if you're playing Assassin's Creed, it's like fine, I'll go over there. But
Yeah.
why do I need to see them do that in the movie?
Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm so sorry.
Like I felt like Bill Hader in that scene. He was
Wine
like,
and
"This
origins.
is stupid. We get it.
Yeah.
Let's go."
Well, there you go. All right, let's keep watching.
And final chapter of It, a film that's almost guaranteed to be the last sequel because all the prime locations and villains disintegrate. But that doesn't mean there won't be more spin-offs. He's been active every 27 years for how long again?
Just a few million years.
We'll be stuck with this clown for the rest of our lives. Please, kill me.
Starring Killer Clown from Outer Space.
Been sitting on that one for a while.
Acting.
He's always got his mouth open.
Jerry O'Connell, the man your man could shelve like.
Jerry's Honest
Right.
Club is the loser's clubhouse. This place is everything. Balloons, shower caps, Street Fighter, an open sewer. Plus you can do a human bunion. That's the thing. Statue.
Well done, Lon. Well done. Bravo.
She's my mother. My
And
wife,
John for the
my
Stefan.
mother,
Yes, they're very good
my
stuff.
mother,
And
my
Kevin
wife.
for that cutting.
Spiderhead,
Very funny.
Spiderhead. He's taunting you because your friend is dead.
My knife.
Finally, one of them made it in.
It stinks.
And finally, that made it. Hey.
We'll clear it out. This.
Wait, so does Shining exist in this universe? So does Stephen King also exist? Does he hate the movie adaptation? And does that make this place a go shop? Zoinks.
Well, there you go. Zoinks. Ended on a good zoinks. Shall
I've
we?
been pitching Borat voice starring.
There's been so many in my life.
wow.
like
Yep.
since I started helping out
Yep.
with Honest Trailers,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
finally one snuck.
Cleared it all out for the decade.
Yes.
It too is definitely bottom of the barrel joke material. It still makes me laugh every time.
Oh, every time.
My wife.
I'm gonna keep pitching them, so it's not going away.
Let's see what didn't make the
Yeah,
cut for
any
it
IFE
too.
word.
Electric Boogaloo.
And the scariest part is the runtime. What the? Was Pennywise on the Titanic? It, Chapter 2. In a nod to both Stephen King and the movie you're watching.
Oh, it's all of them.
The ending is terrible. You hate my endings too?
Not all your endings.
Hey, we saw your movie.
And the ending sucked?
Yeah, it did.
I got a plan. Get the out of Dodge before this ends worse than one of Bill's books.
Want me to sign it for you?
Nah, I didn't like the ending.
Starring Fools. This isn't even my final four. Pound Foolish.
Pennywise,
A little older, a little Pennywiser.
Remember me, Billy?
It's my favorite. I like that.
Jaws.
Got a little Judge Doom.
Bill, the slack-jawed local.
What's missing from this picture? It's just me without my bike.
Bills. Mild Bill. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Beverly Kills. Dairy Girls.
Whoa, Doc, this is Bevy.
Molly Ringwald. Beverly Fury. My name is Art Vandelay. I'm an
Yes.
architect.
Yeah, it's good.
After. Lesbian Ben. All grown up. Even older Spice Guy. Joker. Scary.
I'd watch him as the Joker.
Ass crack.
How I Met My Mother. I Know Who Killed Me. Eddie and the Losers. Ed and Buried. Pharma Bro. The Loser's Tub. Oh, that's dark.
That is dark.
40 and Stabulous. Balloonatics. Shanks for the Memories.
Yeah, it's a ghost car.
That's the powers of love. Underwater Brother. Pennywise killed us in a cave with scraps.
There are over 17 mirrors in the mirror world.
It's
from Mighty Boosh.
The day the
That was for us.
died. Grown-ups. 6 Underground.
There's 6 of them.
The Deadlines
Oh, really?
Don't Die. Club Dread. It's back. I know they don't bring Eddie's corpse out with them, but they could have at least had a funeral. Richie went to Stan's funeral, and they hadn't seen each other in 27 years.
Just for the
Making out for real in stagnant water is at least as nasty as getting puked on by a dream hag.
So gross.
Yeah, that water is pooping it.
Yeah.
There was a back and forth on the funeral thing. I mean, I didn't think they really went to Stan's funeral. That wouldn't make sense. It was a joke. So there was a late note on the funeral, like, he doesn't really go to Stan's funeral. It's like, I know there's no funeral scene.
Right. There is the bar mitzvah mic drop.
Right. That's the implication. He sits there and remembers when they had Stan's bar mitzvah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to viewer questions and comments from viewers like you. Donovan Pastor writes, did you guys really not like the movie?
I did not. I hate everything about this movie.
Did you watch the honest trailer?
I really liked the first one, too, so this was really disappointing.
Now, I'm the lone... Did you like the first one?
I liked the first one. I liked the miniseries more than I liked either of them.
Oh, either?
I like the mystery of the phone on the ceiling.
Not because it's good. Yes, not because it's good, but because it's terrible and it embraces its horribleness.
Yeah, because I'm the lone one that did not like the first one either. I don't like any just change it. Just fix it, because everything, we leave Derry and we don't remember things and and now we come back in, we remember, and now all of a sudden, none of it works.
Well, this leads into Stephanie Cuevas' question. For those who read the book, and I'm sorry Dan isn't here because I know he's a fan, was there any way this film wasn't going to suck? I mean,
no.
Lon, you've read it. How's the second half of the book?
Yeah, I mean, this reflects some of the problems that the book has, but I do feel like, I think at core it's a good, I'd maybe disagree with Joe on this, I think at core there is something interesting about the idea of them fighting this evil as kids, going away, living these whole lives.
I like this core idea.
Coming back and reconnecting with these friends and that bond. I think there's a lot of good Stephen King elements there.
It's just buried in lampshades.
Yeah, I just think you needed to pare down a lot of the extra stuff. I mean, I think there's the materials that you could have used are in this movie. It's just surrounded by a lot of other stuff you maybe don't even
I agree.
need.
I like the core idea a lot of we were traumatized as kids. We got out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Now we have to go back to prevent it from happening to other kids. It gives them active choices to go back. And you get rid of all the shenanigans.
And they do a thing that I liked, which is Mike, the Mike Hanlon, the Isaiah Mustafa character, he they gave him a little bit of a detective angle. He's really been spending the time in Derry, researching this and figuring it out. That's a cool angle you could have used to give it more structure and more of a sense of momentum as they come back and he's like, okay, here's the plan. We got to do this and this and this and this, and then convince them and work it out.
We got to do drugs and then
maybe there's one element of the plan that doesn't work, but it feels like it's that for a little while and then it just gets so distracted by so much other stuff and it doesn't have a through line.
Well,
so yes, I do feel like there's enough elements in there that could work. You could make it work.
There are. I mean, a lot of his books are 50% great premise and then 50% he got bored or something.
Maybe you don't need it to be a mini-series or a two-part. Maybe it could just be 1 2.5 hour movie and you just pare it down to the essential.
Or you just do the kid thing and it ends very bleakly.
Or they kill it. I mean, you don't need they come back and it still has 29 years underground or whatever.
Give it 10 years, it'll be back. Or less. Alfredo writes...
Turnover.
Alfredo writes, why TF? Are you scared of
Why
the
Transformers?
Runtime? Why Transformers? Are you scared of the runtime? Endgame, The Irishman, Wolf of Wall Street lasted more than 3 hours. Stop winning.
But those are good movies. We're not scared of the runtime if it's all quality, but if it's a bunch of filler, then
I think, and also for me, horror, unless it's a very slow ratcheting up of dread, just the build and release of tension, you can't sustain that for 3 hours. Yeah. It's going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
It's the same for a lot of comedies. There's a reason why we all settled on around 90 minutes to be able to tell something like that.
Yeah.
Anything else is exhausting.
Yeah, it's all filler, no killer, and it's 3 hours of it.
Yeah,
and it's
especially we were saying before, it's repetitive, and so when you're repetitive and very long, that's when it's a real drag. Wolf of Wall Street, it's propulsive, tons of energy. You're just pulled through the whole thing. It doesn't feel long at all.
Yep. And speaking of all killer no filler, Valley Bull asked, did Chapter 2 even have any kills?
Sure. I think
in
the
guy at the beginning.
The guy at the beginning, the
Eddie
kid,
dies.
Eddie dies.
Stan kills himself.
Oh God!
Eddie
the
dies,
Phil
Stan kills
Coulson
himself.
Avengers Assemble note at the end.
Oh yeah, I don't like that. That's not in the
God.
book. That's not from the book.
That's the brutal oh my God, yeah, that's how scary it is. And then at the end he's like, no guys, I killed myself on purpose to rally you.
Yeah.
All right, and then finally, Domino Bell writes, did you guys write any alternate versions of lines for Bill Hader's Stefan starring section? Please go through them on Honest Commentaries. I don't think we did.
No, that was the version that came right out of my.
Yeah,
that was
take a stab.
No, that was Lon hitting a homer and walking off the field.
Yeah,
that was
an alternate Derry Stefan. Anyone? Derry's got everything.
I think we can only mention, Derry's got everything. It's got old poems from 8-year-olds, brackish makeout water,
passive aggressive notes from clown,
winter fire, January embers,
and ayahuasca urn trips,
and you
digitally DH children,
and you can do a human chewed. That's that thing where
you all hold hands,
where you go into the sewer.
Well, there you go. There's your bonus, Stefan.
It took me a long time to come around. I was going through a lot
Looney
of
Tune old ladies.
I was trying to do starring. I was going through a lot of Bill Hader sketches, and it took me way too long to be like, Stefan, that's a perfect joke formula. I was like, what would Lindsey Buckingham say?
You just go.
All right, that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed this, and we hope you enjoy next week. I'm not even sure if we'll do one next week.
I was just about to say,
what's happening?
Do we know what's happening next week?
Schedule's gotten a little wonky.
There's your clue. So we'll see you then. Thanks again. Bye-bye.